I have to go because I've got an appointment coming up. Or anything else?
Well, I mean, Bobby, if you got to hop off, I did want to touch on with Dallas about going to the Super Bowl, a little bit on the Colts.
Yeah.
How many more minutes you got, Bobby, before you got to go?
Well, I was to be there at 12:30, but that's all right. Go ahead.
I know we could go down a long rabbit hole with this and winning the Super Bowl and everything, but if you just kind of like to touch on being with the Colts, the experience, and then the road to Super Bowl.
Well, I can sum this up quickly because all it comes down to when you boil it down and you're just left with just the pure raw ingredients, it's people. And when you have zero decision on where you're going to get drafted, you got 32 options. Yeah, I was just coming. What I basically just was saying was when you go into the draft, you have 32 teams that you just pray that one of them wants you, and then when you get a call from Mr. Polian with the Colts, I was, like I said before, similar to Bobby, where you just like, wasn't a big football fan. I mean, I watched my brothers play college. This just shows you how stupid I was. Mr. Polian drafts me and says, "Hey, Dallas, we're going to take you the number 24 pick here coming up." Obviously crying, happy, all that stuff. And then he's like, "Hey, we're going to fly you out. What number do you want to wear with us?" And I'm like, "Well, I probably can't." And I was 44 at Iowa. And I was like, "Well, I probably can't be 44. That's kind of a, fullback, linebacker number." I go, what? I'll just double it. I'll be 88. And a long pause is, just silence on the other end. I'm like, he goes, "Dallas, Marvin Harrison wears that number." I'm like, "Oh, shoot." Yeah, I've heard of that cat. Yeah, he's good. He's like, "You know what, Dallas?" Instantly I know Mr. Polian is like, "Oh crap, who do we just draft?" Yeah. So I stayed 44, but basically what I found out, obviously after that first phone call, what a stud Mr. Polian was or is, and then obviously Mr. Irsay, our owner, just a phenomenal owner for the players, for the city of Indianapolis, for the whole organization, and then just you go down the line, and I mean I can picture everyone in the whatever office, whatever title they held. I mean, Mr. Dungy, I mean, all the way down, like just class, unbelievable humans that just not only love the game of football, but just love kids and love being around guys that just wanted to compete, wanted to get better. And then obviously then boils down to our teammates, it's same thing. Like they drafted certain type of people that just, had this kind of that Mr. Polian has said several times, is documented and probably written about in a few books about just how he would take a certain person over talent. He didn't always take the most talented. He just kind of fit got the guy that was going to fit in our locker room, and there's no reason why we all wanted to play for each other and just go compete against each other every day. And so, I mean, really, it was kind of one of those, like, you had no choice but to be successful. I mean, if you bought in, it's like anything. And, if you buy in to the culture, to the environment, to the people, to the goals, and then obviously take it upon yourself to push yourself. Like it was the best environment ever, but it was competitive, it was tough, it was hard, but you wouldn't want any other way. And just with a great group of men, and we're able to do a lot of good things and do a lot of great things for the city and for the Colts fans all across the world. And as any competitor would love to have done more, but I think it's one of those things that you look back and you take away the Super Bowl, take away, it's the people, it's Reggie Wayne coming back and being a receivers coach for the Colts. It's Cato June coming back and being an assistant linebacker coach, and going back when Tarek Glenn got put in the Ring of Honor this last season, and just seeing those guys, and some of those guys you haven't seen for a while, and it's like we're just back in the locker room, and that's what sports is all about. That's why Bobby, how old are you, Bobby?
86.
86, and yet he's telling people how to retire. I'm still trying to figure that one out. He's teaching people how to retire, and he's 86, and so it's like, So like, I'm sure all these people are scared. They're like, wait, do I have to work till I'm 86, Bobby? Because I am not. You know,
No, I'm an anomaly.
yeah, exactly. You're a unicorn, dude. Like you are. I don't think your retirement quit. I don't think you have that vocabulary. So, but it's just, you know, it's those type of people that you just go back and you're like, it's no one, you know. But the same thing when you're in it, you just you understand it's there, but like you don't cherish it. You don't sit there and go, oh, wow, we're pretty awesome. Like you just, you know, you're on the next goal, the next page. But now when you go back and you see these guys and you talk to these guys, and you really see, like, you know, it all makes sense. Like these are great people, great friends, great brothers, and teammates. And so it was no wonder why we had the success we had, because it really comes down to the people.
We've had a reunion every year of our team since 1955. The last one was September 9th, my birthday, and this one is going to be September 15th. So every year since 55, we have gotten together.
That's beautiful.
And 8 of the 12 of us are still alive.
Wow, that's great.
People make the difference, Dallas. And you
Yeah.
don't appreciate it until you get out.
Yeah, that's so true. So true.
That's true. All right. So listen, Dallas, just two things I want you to touch on. What do you think has set Peyton Manning apart over the years as far as his mindset, skill set, everything? And then what was it like when you won the Super Bowl?
It, you know, with Peyton, you know, obviously that's obviously a very popular question. You know, when you play with him and your teammate, and I think it just really comes down to just when you think about just kind of looking back at our careers together and just being around him. He's just, you know, it's all true. You know, most of it's all true of just like how attention to detail he was. And, you know, there's just a guy that just, you know, took, you know, that not many guys could like talk the talk and then walk the walk. Like that guy, you know, he did it the right way. He vocalized how to do it. And then he went and did it. And so it was, you know, so it's hard for anyone to just go, oh, he's all talk, or, oh, he's just showboat. You know, it's like, no, it's what as advertised. And so, and he just was always thinking about, you know, he talk about a guy that never got complacent. Like he was just always trying to, you know, because it's a big chess game, because, you know, everyone was trying to stop this. So then we'd have to come up with a counter, and always trying to figure out angles to win. And so, you know, just being around that, and he, you know, and the coaches that all, you know, allowed him to have the reins and have the freedom to really kind of call the shots. You know, kudos to Tom Moore, our offense coordinator, Coach Dungy, obviously the head coach, of allowing him to be kind of in charge per se, you know, and then obviously the teammates to kind of like, you know, be okay with it, because, you know, obviously that could get kind of dicey, and obviously we all had our moments. You know, it wasn't all squeaky clean and all that, but well, no, let's not get there. You know, that's just third down stuff, you know. So, you know, he's just, you know, and he just, there's just no frills about it. Like he wasn't afraid to work. Like he was there during the off season. He watches film. It really comes down to just, he walked the walk. Like he outworked everyone. And so it was awesome to have guys like that. Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, unbelievable example of how to practice. Like we practiced hard. I mean, our practices were so competitive. Which, by the way, Bobby, like hearing that like fans could come watch practice still blow my mind. Anyway, that's a whole nother, but that's awesome. But it was just like one of those things where, you know, like you look back and if you bought in and you didn't, you know, and understood your role and how we all work together, then it was going to work. And Peyton did a great job of, you know, just kind of understanding that and walk that fine line of quarterback, leader, but just a guy that just was always, is right now still probably thinking. I mean, he's just constantly thinking about how to make a difference, how to get better, and he was just never satisfied. I'm sure he would probably say it's a gift and also a curse. I'm sure it just never stops.
And then,
Then the
Super Bowl.
I forgot two steps. Super Bowl. It was one of those things where, good Lord, like we had some ballers. We had some teams that, obviously you look on paper like, man, we should have won more probably, but guess what? We don't live in a world that shoulda, coulda, woulda. We didn't. We won the one. Thank the Lord. Went to two. Just heartbreaker on that second one. And but it was just kind of a culmination of just like, being able to like kind of put a stamp on all your hard work, all your dedication, everything that you put into it, and really kind of validated our success and kind of our little era that we had in Colts football. And I think it was just, but I've never really like, finished a season like that. I was never a state, winner, anything like that, where the last game, usually your games always end in a loss, right? And you always just kind of have that sick feeling all season, all off season, like just like, oh my gosh, how did we lose that? Or how did we play like, all that? But it was weird, like ending the season on top, like we're the champions. Like that was, and it was just over. It was over. It was like that. It was really weird. Like that was kind of a weird thing I never thought of, but I remember vividly like winning it and being on that bus, like going back to the hotel, kind of like, we're the like then it's like the season's over. Like that's it. Like that's it. It was weird. It was just I've never, but yeah, it was a wild trip, wild run. But again, it made it extra special with doing it with those guys. It was a special group in that locker room.
Did you go anywhere to celebrate? Did you go to Disney World, or what was the game plan after that?
We did. We went to Disney World, and actually, it was kind of cool because it got, obviously it wasn't like, I'm going to Disney, like one of those things, but, I reached out and they, it's kind of like Bobby's, scholarship. Like, good Lord, Bobby, I didn't realize you were making NIL deals before NIL deals were NIL deals. Like, so, but yeah, I went, Mr. Disney, Mr. Walt himself paid for my trip. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we went to Disney World but again, you after the game, you think it's like this huge party and all that, and it was just like you're in a city that you're not really familiar with, so you're at your hotel with your family, and you got all the players and their families all kind of scattered it was just kind of like it was just like you walk around. You walk around, it's just like, it was just it's just craziness. It was incredible. So yeah, it was a fun thing to celebrate. That's for sure.
Here's that moment, that precious moment, you holding up the trophy. I'm sure that, it was probably one of the best moments in your life besides having kids and all the other fun stuff.
Amen. And who would have thought 8,000 pounds of rain would come down on Miami field that day? What in the world? Like, are you kidding me? It rained. I think I just got dried last week. I dried off. It was it rained so hard. But it was, it was all sunny. It was all sunny for us after that game.
So what's your focus now for early retirement or not retirement? Really trying to like kids, Children's Hospital I'm teaming up with our Children's Hospital here in Iowa City. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out the Wave. It's one of the greatest sports traditions here that's coming up after the first quarter. The new Children's Hospital, Stead Family Children's Hospital, looks over Kinnick Stadium. And after the first quarter of every home game, like the world stops for like 30 seconds. So we all turn and we wave to the kids that can look out from their windows, and especially from the top floor, and they can watch the game. And so we're waving all these kids, and it just kind of puts everything in perspective of like, here we are, yelling at a kid for not catching a third down ball, but then you look up there and you're, kid's fighting for his life. And so, so it's just a beautiful tradition. And so, but the Make-A-Wish, like when I was with Indy, my rookie year,
Z99.5, Smiley morning show. They always done a telethon. I've worked with them for years, and that really kind of like, I found out then, like, I'm like, holy cow, these kids and what they're going through, like, it fires me up. And so I'm trying to stay in that kind of, in that area of helping these kids and going through their thing and trying to walk with them together and trying to give them a sunny day. And so trying to figure out different ways to help them. And so just anywhere where kids, just need help. So that's kind of my wheelhouse.
Okay.
Kind of puts everything in perspective, doesn't it?
Bobby, amen, brother. Like it is, and then obviously it becomes more when you have your own kids. But yeah, it's just something that anytime, I don't know if it goes back to like when people saw something in me or fought for me. It's pretty cool to fight for someone and help them out, and knowing that someday they're you don't even want the recognition, but like. They're going to do something great, and just like Coach Ferentz for me, or Coach Bill Francis for my brother, just those little steps, those little rings of help that just like, hey, was not able to get here without people like that. So it's pretty cool to try to be those people.
What you're just saying is what sports is all about if it is taught properly, because it mirrors life. Nobody wins everything they try. Nobody loses everything they try. And the secret is when you win or when you lose, to keep an even level. And sports taught properly will do that. Taught improperly, it's awful.
Yeah. And Bobby, speaking of, we'll segue into like the top level. We're gonna take your bar to the next level. I got a jersey here that I'm gonna sign, and I'm gonna send to you. All right. So make sure you find. I don't care if it's like the third stall in the bathroom. Find a nice home for it. Right.
We'll find
this one's for you.
And I'm going to find something for you also. A basketball, maybe signed by all of our team members.
Dude, okay, let's not. Okay, I'm giving you a jersey. I'm not giving you like my Super Bowl ring, dude. You don't need to go like just something signed by. I mean, that'd be. Well,
yeah. Well,
whatever.
I
don't need anything, but that's beautiful. I appreciate it, Bob.
I'm not giving you my state championship ring either. Not quite the same level, but I'm going to keep it.
Oh, but I think it's pretty darn close. I mean,
hey, this has been a great time. I appreciate it, and I'm sorry I've got to go, but I do have to go.
And Jim, I appreciate you being on the call. Is there anything you want to say at the last moment, Jimmy?
Yeah, Dallas, I want to know if in 2006 in the AFC Championship game, if we really cranked the heat up in the stadium to make the old aging Patriots start cramping up.
Well, I've heard of like the sound gate, like us pumping in noise. I've never heard about the heat. Is that?
I've heard that's one that's floated around that for some gamesmanship after they watered down the field on us in previous seasons, that we cranked the heat up to make them start cramping in the fourth quarter.
Here's the thing. I've never and granted, I had a level like I didn't my key didn't get me into every door in the Colts complex. I understand that. There's higher ups, but I find it hard to believe that someone sat there throughout the week like, hey, what if we crank up the heat? That's going to give us, because I mean, if you see the beasts that are on the field, heat ain't going to change a damn thing. Just like rain ain't going to change it. Cold ain't going to, like we're all kind of like, not right in the head. So I mean, if we really thought that was going to give us an advantage, then we're wasting our time. So I doubt.
Well, the fans are crazy. You know that.
What? No, they're perfectly calm, collective, and see clear. What are you talking about? They're
Well, listen, I thank all of you for being here. This has been a really great moment. And Dallas, I didn't realize how much you loved Indiana basketball from growing up. It's beautiful.
Unbelievable. I mean, then they go to India. I mean, it's like full circle. It's crazy. And then talking about, I mean, this is huge. This is, oh, by the way, I did go, Kyle McCann surprised me. Last story surprised me. One off season, drove out with Bruce Nelson, my other best friend. He was our center. The three of us went to, I can't even think of the town, wherever they filmed, the gym that they used to film the gym that they use in Hoosiers.
Knightstown.
We went and Whitestown, right?
Knightstown.
Knightstown. There you go. Knightstown. Yeah, because Whitestown is right next to Indy. So yeah, we went and we shot hoops at that gym one Saturday afternoon. And then the next year we went to Hinkle Fieldhouse. We called Gary. We had some friends that knows friends that got us keys, got us in. And I dunked it at Hinkle Fieldhouse. That's right. You didn't do that, Bobby. You didn't do that, Bobby. In your face.
I couldn't do that.
But you can shoot me out of the gym. That's for dang sure.
Hey, I think Jim wanted to know, can Peyton dunk?
No. Peyton can drive a golf ball and putt it, and he can throw a football. Those are the two. He has a pretty good shuffleboard, good dart. Any stupid game, and then golf and football is about all he can do.
Okay.
But he's not bad at it.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Is there anything else you want to say, Bobby?
Other than the fact, thanks for it, and enjoyed talking to all of you, Jim, John, and Dallas. It's just been a great time, and thanks for thinking of me.
Well, you got it.
Absolutely.
This is probably going to be. I'm probably going to cut this into a couple episodes because we got about 2 hours on the books. So
I love it.
All right.
Anyway,
take care,
I'll be in
fellas.
contact. Thanks,
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye now.